Hi, this is Lonnie again. Today I'd like to go over just a real quick demo on how to create your own collections of generators for SprintForge. This allows you to take, let's get over there, take the stock controllers or the stock generators, which are listed here, and you can take any of these, copy it, make any modifications you want. The first thing you'll need to know, .tpl, as long as that's in the file, that's the template for the file used to generate the code that you actually see. There is a generator which basically acts as a controller for each one that will collect your information, prompt you for additional information. Here, we'll look at it. It'll prompt you for additional information. In this case, it's asking us whether it's themed, to figure out which variation of the controller you want to do, stuff like that. So it's responsible for actually generating it, but when it does, it uses one of these template files to create. So the easiest thing to do is if you've got a special need for your company, or just a different way that you typically handle some of your stuff inside your generators, that you want to just have it generate out of the box for you from now on and not worry about what I've set up for you to do here. It's really easy. What we'll do, I've actually already done this here, copy the generator you want into a different folder somewhere else. All right, now at this point, all I've got is the controller generator. And if we look at this real quick, what I've set up is I have just set up, to make sure that we're getting there, one thing here that says, it's going to die, it's going to crash, and say, woot, we made it to the right spot. A nice little positive affirmation there, just to know that we're actually getting to the right controller. Now, I did not do any other customizations currently other than that. This is just to show you how this works, all right? So obviously, at this point, if we were to create a new controller, so let's see, we need a SprintForge. We're going to make a controller. We're going to call it demo. No model. It's not a themed controller. All right. If we go back and look real quick, take a look at our controllers here. That is the stock controller that it would create for us. Now we want to customize that. So what we need to do is, first of all, tell it where to find this new collection of ours, because this is what we call a collection. This folder holds all of the other customized generators, and we can use these generators to create any type of code we want. If we've got a specific API that requires controllers done a certain way, if we want to integrate it with Grunt or Bower or anything, you could do all kinds of things with this that is not currently done out of the box, just to make your life easier or more standards to your company. So we need to first tell Sprint where to find this collection. So go over here into our Forge, our application config. There it is, Forge. I've already opened this just so I can have it full screen here for you to see. And what we need to do is to add a new path here. And what it will do when it's trying to find these paths is it'll start from the top going down. And so if it finds the correct generator before it gets to the Sprint's collection, then it's going to use that one. So in this case, we will duplicate that line. Got to give it a new name, otherwise it'll get overwritten. So we'll just call this demo here. For this one, whoops, start with our front controller path, and we need to go up a folder so that it can find it. Now it should be pointing to our generator. A new controller here. We'll just use the same name and go ahead and override it. Then it should die and give us our happy little message. Ready? But of course it's not. Why not? Oh, a comma at the end of this would probably help. Here we go. Let's try it again. Wait for a happy message. Are we ready? There it is. There's our nice little happy message. So that is proving that it's using the correct controller. So now, like I said, you can take this and do anything you want with these. You can add new commands. You can overwrite existing ones. It's completely up to you. Now, when you do that, that's the basics of it right there. Examine the existing controllers, or the existing generators, which you can find under myth generators. Examine the code in these generator files to get an idea of how things work and how to use the CLI library a little bit more. But they all extend this base generator here, which I also have open. Now this base generator, it provides one abstract method that you have to implement, and that is run. So the first thing you do when you make a new controller is you have to extend base generator. Okay, and this already extends CLI controller, which gives you access to a lot of the CLI tools. Another command line niceties there. You have to implement a run method. That's the only one that you absolutely have to do, and that will be called by the other generators, or by the forge command, I'm sorry. And now this also provides a few different nice tools here. You can create a brand new file with whatever contents you want. A lot of times you're going to use that to read in the contents of your template file, do any modifications, and spit it back out. But you could just be creating one completely from scratch, because there's actually easier ones for the template. It will sandbox the file, which what that means is it will not write to any file outside of the app path, or outside of the app path. This is to protect somebody from writing a generator that has malicious code in it that would go through your system and try and find something and destroy it. So it will sandbox it to restrict it to within the app path. So that we've got one to create a new file. We can create a new directory here, so you can assign your permissions here. But most of the time you probably won't need to do that. You can copy a file. If you have, like if you're providing a README file that you want to include with your generated code, you can do that. You can copy a template. This is the easiest way. This takes one of your template files. You tell it the destination, where you want it to end up. You tell it that whatever data needs to be inserted into the template. This is just like doing, this load view with a data variable. And whether or not it overwrites will automatically be handled by the system. And then that will take these templates here. So it'll take this view, it'll insert the variables into it, and copy it over to where you need it to be. And then we have one nice little function here that allows you to modify existing files. This is great for modifying configuration files, adding routes, different things like that. And that's inject in the file. And here are the options that are available. You can prepend something, so you can place something at the beginning of the file. You can place something at the very end of the file. You can do it before a string, so it would search for that string in the file. And remember, if you're looking for an entire line, you probably want to do that in double quotes with a \n to make sure you get that new line on the end of it too. And you definitely want to do that if you're doing it after a line, so it'll show up on the next line of the file. You can do a simple replacement string where you'll just do a very strict literal replacement, or you can use a regular expression to tell it where to find that. And it'll take the path of the file, what new content you want to insert, and how you want it to be inserted. All of these use the file kit that we provided, that you can also use for any other needs, but has pretty much the same features here. Let's come back. All right, so what else we have here? Well, we covered inject a file. Generate. This is used if you need to run another generator from within your own generator. This is how Scaffold does its magic. It just spits out a bunch of commands to generate other code for you. So you can use that to fire off other ones. You can add a route to the route file here. And the README, this will display the contents of a file on the command line for you. You'll notice this, the controller generator does not do it. But some of them will give out information for you afterwards, like, just as a reminder, hey, you need to run a migration, different things like that. It might be helpful for them to know after they've done that generator. It'll default to a README file within your generators folder. You can obviously tell it whichever one you want. And this will render a single template and return it to you in a string. So you could use this as part of the create file if you wanted to. This is actually automatically called by the copy template. And sandboxing we've already discussed. So those are the basic functions that are provided to help you out creating your own generators and customizing all of this stuff for your needs. I hope you have a great time using Sprint, and I hope this is very powerful for you.